now we're going to do some compressions, and because we're trying to work in between the scapulas, which is defined by the vertebral borders, we're going to do what's called praying hands compression, where you hold your hands either like this or like this, so you leave enough space for the spine, and you place it in between here and have them inhale. And on the exhale, you lean in and bring the heels of your hands down into the body. And you work down like that until you get past the inferior angle of the scapula, and then you can change your hand position either here, or if this bothers your wrists, or this feels more comfortable, the flaps of your fists. And you want to just take that down to and include the sacrum. Now we're going to work up on the individual scapulas, and we're going to do some mobilization. And you want to take note, as if you're working on one knee and one foot, in this position, what scapula makes the most sense to work on as far as how your body is open to it. So it would be this one, because I'm open this way. If I worked on this one, I'd have to rotate. So you're meaning that when you work one scapula, you'll be in one position, and then you're going to have to change foot position. So this first one is starting with compressions. Just compressing not only in between the spine and the vertebral border, but also on the back of the scapula into infraspinatus. And even some into posterior deltoid. And then we're going to do mobilization, where we're going to cup the front of their shoulder with our fingers, not curled into the front of the shoulder, but creating like a shelf. And you're going to slip that underneath the shoulder, and you're going to keep your arm extended. So what we're going to do is start to mobilize by just leaning like this. Okay? So it's just shifting your weight across. And then we're going to just place our side of our hand, or your fingers, depends on what feels better, right up against the vertebral border, so that you're pinning that attachment, and you're working your way down to the inferior angle of the scapula. As you lean back, you're exhaling. Then you're going to go back and be a little bit more specific and use your thumb. And the thumb goes right up against the vertebral border of the scapula, starting just below the superior angle. And as you lean back, you exhale. As you lean forward, you inhale and move your thumb to a different position.
So that's in the rhomboids?
It's would be the rhomboid attachments, but it's right up against the vertebral border of the scapula. Okay, and then you're going to work here, so now you have to change your position, knee and foot. And then you're going to repeat the same here. So start with compression. Mobilization. Then you go back with more specific with your thumb. Again, right up against the vertebral border, right just below the superior angle. so now you've done mobilization here, and we're just going to finish this sequence with working the individual subos. Now I mentioned that the bladder has two lines on either side, the inner and outer bladder meridian. And the inner bladder meridian has the subos, which are called associated points. And these points affect all the organs in the body. So we're going to end this segment by stimulating these subos with some thumb pressure. And we're going to start right at the top of the shoulders, and we're going to go down onto and include the sacrum. So in doing this, I want your thumbs to feel for C7T1, and then just move your thumbs out about a thumb width. You're going to inhale, and on the exhale, keeping your arms straight, you just sink in. The next inhale, you move down that line, a thumb width, sink in. And this evening, I want you to focus on just how your thumbs are positioned, how your arms are nice and straight, how you're shifting your weight from back to forward, how that you're giving a sense of just leaning in and not overly pushing. You know, the urges, if it's very tight, you want to go into it, but that's not the case here. So you just want to have some nice, smooth leaning in. So you inhale and your breath takes you back, and on the exhale, your breath takes you into the person. And again, if this position bothers your thumbs, you can do a brace thumb. And you're going to take it down and include the sacrum. Now, you know the sacrum here, triangle, base of the spine, articulating surface for the iliums on either side. And on either side of the spine of the sacrum, there's foramen, or foveas on either side. There's 4 of them on either side. When you look at the skeleton, you'll see them. There's acupressure points right in those foramen. So when you're doing shiatsu onto the sacrum, you want to feel for the spine of the sacrum and then move out until your thumbs feel those holes, and then you want to sink in. And there's 4 of them, so try to feel for those openings. Okay, and we're going to end by just taking our palm here and compressing into the sacrum, but then moving the sacrum back towards the feet so that they get some nice length here. And I think this evening will end with a little that's a good segment for the bladder meridian.